topic on the table. Boy, is this controversial. Maybe not here in the States, but we do have a lot of soccer followers. This is something significant. Manchester City might be facing expulsion from the English Premier League. They have done a long-term investigation. They have come up with 101 violations by Manchester City in the EPL of the, quote, fair play rule. Lee, what's that? Says John. Fair play rule is like the salary cap. It governs the amount of revenue you take in. It governs how much you spend on player acquisitions and transfer fees. What they have uncovered is that Manchester City did under-the-table financial marketing deals with star players. We will purchase your contract and you will get $38 million from us. Oh, but under the table, there's a second contract, a marketing contract that might provide another $23 million to the player. So all this stuff has happened. There were alleged kickbacks to agents of foreign players who delivered them in the transfer era. They've got documentation about that. Manchester City is owned by a Saudi group. They refused to cooperate, but the agents who got cornered turned over documents. Other teams who had access to information in the English Premier League turned over documents and turned them in. Manchester City is in a world of hurt, and it's one of the elite teams in the EPL. They could be stripped of a lot of points this year, which would knock them down the table, down the standings. They could be banned from playing in the club tournaments, which make enormous amounts of money, UEFA, the Champions League, and all that. They could be expelled from the English Premier League and relegated. Think about that, relegated out of the 20-team league and sent to a lower division on some type of probation period. Story's not over yet. We have to see what the sanctions are going to be. But this is pretty significant. This would be like mega violation of baseball's luxury tax with under-the-table stuff. This is like violations of the NFL and the salary cap. This is really serious stuff over there being the English Premier League.
Yeah, this is amazing news. And you think about Manchester City, because if you roll the clock back 10, 20 years, this was a team at the bottom of the league. I mean, it was not a very impressive. And, you know, Manchester United was the dominant team in that town. But the Man City has just become stronger and better, has built this fan base. And to see that a lot of this might have been, you know, shenanigans on the side is really disappointing. So hopefully they do a thorough investigation of this, because you can't, we have a set of rules like this to try to have, you know, not necessarily parity in the league, but you want to have everyone working from the same playbook, the same set of rules, so it can be as competitive as possible. So you look at Man City, all those championships they've had over the last few years, are they tainted? Would they be removed? I mean, this is a lot more coming.
Well, the first thing that came to mind when this story broke the end of last week was, and we've talked about him, the Manchester City star from Norway, Erling Haaland.
Oh, yeah.
He's got 31 goals. He's on a track to become the all-time single-season goal scorer in the English Premier League. And now the question is, when you see star talent like that suddenly shows up, how did they get him? What did they do to get him? What did they pay to get him? I have a hard time believing the English Premier League would relegate him and knock him out of the league. But there are so many violations, so many major violations, and the fact that the Saudi ownership refused to cooperate. Stay tuned. There's a lot more to come on that story. Okay, John, it's